I am so excited to have my soul sister, one of my dearest friends and business colleagues with me today, Libby Lee from Australia. Thank you for joining us, Libby. Thanks for being here. I'm so excited to have this conversation.
Me too. Thank you for having me. It's an absolute honor. And it's so fun when we get to do these things together. I love it.
Right? We should do them more often. We don't do it enough.
That's right.
So, Libby, tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey of self-mastery.
Whew, that's a big question to start with. Okay.
Dive right in.
A little bit about me. Grew up in Australia and now I'm married with 2 kids, and the journey that really flipped for me, I was a little bit, shiny object syndrome through my young adulthood, and I feel like that's a rite of passage. We're discovering ourselves and traveling, living overseas. I actually lived in Canada. It's so dear to my heart, and ended up marrying my soulmate, who I've known 34 years, and now we have 2 beautiful kids. But for me, it was literally motherhood, that first baby, that flipped everything for me. And I'd stopped the shiny object syndrome, and I had gone to uni, and I had 2 uni degrees, and I had the safe government job, but there was so much missing, particularly once I was off work with a baby, and I was just like, this is a weird world. Like, why would I put my child in daycare so that I can go and look after other sick people and their kids? And it was just like, something has to shift here, and I know that I'm here to do more than this. So the problem was that it sparked this huge seeker in me, but I didn't really have a clear direction of what I was seeking, and I was seeking outside of myself, not in inner seeking. So yeah, I was doing Forex trading, and I was doing network marketing, and I was doing absolutely every opportunity that came across my path, because I thought the solution to me being able to stay at home with my kids was just finding an external source of money. And having that everyone's talking about the passive income, that was going to be the solution to get me out of the hospital work and be at home with my family.
Right.
Just every time, I would succeed at all of these opportunities, and then I would either self-sabotage subconsciously, or I would consciously quit it and just say, this isn't for me. And I realized that it was the fulfillment. It was actually a Tony Robbins UPW, Unleash Your Power Within, that really made me have a look at that and to see what was I seeking. So everything started to shift then. I got a little bit into, I studied the life coaching, strategic breakthrough coaching, and that then got me into kind of energy healers and in this energy and spiritual realm where you and I finally met. And it's evolved very rapidly in the last years.
Yes, it has. I have watched your journey in the past couple of years, since the very first time I delivered your numerology blueprint to you. Yeah. And then your life just kind of went whoop upside down, and you discovered what self-mastery actually means.
Absolutely.
So good.
Yeah. And it's we're taught to search so much out of ourselves. We really need to understand ourselves, what makes us tick, and realize that we have the power to change, we have the power to choose, and we have the power in how we respond, rather than, we've been in this reactionary kind of society where it's tit for tat, and that it's not going to work anymore.
Nope, absolutely not. And I love that you bring up the idea of the multiple paths to wealth, or the passive income. That one was my favorite, because I got caught up in that shiny object too, thinking that if I could just make enough money, then I could have the freedom that I wanted to pursue my other interests. But it's the opposite. And when you create the freedom to pursue what you love, lo and behold, there's all the money.
Absolutely. and it doesn't feel like work, and you're making a difference, you're having an impact. All of this fulfillment comes with that. And not only is that a business part of you, but you're a better partner, you're a better mother, you're a better family member, colleague, in whatever relationships and conversations that you're having. You come from this fulfilled cup that overflows, rather than trying to fill from an empty cup, and a cup that you don't even understand.
Absolutely. And I mean, when you are focused on your own cup, and then the money is just like this added bonus, and you're like, oh, sweet, I got paid for that. Like, that was awesome. And you don't even think about the money at that point, because you have the freedom of being able to embrace and embody all of you, which is so good. So good.
That's what we're here to do. I honestly believe that's exactly what we are here to do. Understand yourself, connect with yourself, realize your inner power. And as soon as you can realize that and start to harness it, then everything shifts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So good. So, I mean, we've kind of already covered this, but what does self-mastery mean to you?
Yeah, definitely. It's about understanding. It's about having the awareness and the perspectives. So one thing I found was I was able to kind of shift perspectives pretty easily, and that's in my numerology. But the one thing that I didn't always have was the awareness or the confidence to go, hang on, this isn't right. We need to shift this. So the perspective, was kind of easy for me to do, but I needed to bring in that awareness every single time so that I could shift that perspective and then choose how I wanted to respond, how I wanted to, move forward with whatever situation. But, awareness is everything, Cindy.
She's picking that up from somewhere. I don't know who it could possibly be. Something that I teach in the course I teach, the Mastering the Brain Game, is, and I become a broken record, is awareness is everything. Because without awareness, you can't see it from a different perspective. You can't even choose to see it from a different perspective, because you're going about life completely oblivious to what's happening. The moment you have awareness, you can't unsee it. And so it's either going to be a thorn in your side until you choose to resolve it, or you choose to resolve it and it goes away.
Yes. Yeah. The golden key. It really does unlock everything else. It's that master domino. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. So how has self-mastery supported you as an entrepreneur, especially in the last couple of years? You've created your own, let's talk about that.
Oh my gosh. So my old style of business was that very masculine energy, the hustle and grind, the burn the candle at both ends. And it got to a point of adrenal fatigue and burnout, on the edge of burnout. I actually had some testing and they were like, how are you keeping your shit together? So that's when I realized everything had to shift, but I didn't know how to do business another way. I knew that I couldn't stay so focused on financial goals. Like, that just wasn't fulfilling. It was more, how many souls can we impact? So it's been a big shift. It didn't shift overnight. And the final piece has really come in this last little while with the restrictions, isolation, COVID. It made me realize how much harmony we can have in succeeding in business to life balance, and how it fits into your life rather than it being completely separate, and pulling you away from the family that you're trying to spend time with. So yeah, it has really, I feel like finally the flow is more of a permanent one, rather than me just kind of trying to create this. Now it's, if you can, in this period, I was saying to a lot of people at the time, like, if you can launch or get your business going during this pandemic, you can do anything. Like, there's nothing that stops you, because we've been homeschooling, we've been completely restricted. We've been battling with technology and internet connections, and And we have people losing their jobs in a market where we are trying to have an impact. So if you can do it now, you can do it anytime. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, so good. And one of the things that you said in there, you and I have similar backgrounds with the hustle, the grind, the go get 'em. I mean, my business was get shit done. That's what I named it, because I was the girl who could get anything done. 17-hour days, like just crazy. And again, that burnout. And I feel like that comes from a sense of trying to control things.
Yep.
And trying to force things and prove that I'm good enough and I can do this and I can make enough money to support my family, and all of those mental concepts that we have that don't serve us.
Yeah.
And that level of self-mastery comes when you can just go, fuck it.
Yep.
Throw it all out the window, which you've done.
Yes.
And start all over again, right? You and I have both done that.
Yes. Because that energy, that hustle and grind energy, I feel majority of the time it's coming from that lack energy. It's like, there's not enough, I'm not there yet, I need to do more and more and more, because we're measuring it and we're judging it. When all of that shifts and it's just like, wow, I have so much that I want to share, and some gifts that I want to bring out into this world. And I want you and my journey and you and my journey, because, our business is a collective of amazing teachers and guides. And, I'm kind of looking at you guys as chaperones. You're here to chaperone people on their own journey. And, so bringing all of us together and just doing our thing. It's not about the financial goals and this deadline. Like, as soon as I start to put deadlines in place, I go back into that masculine energy, and it's just, so it's strange for me to slow down, not have a launch date and not have this and that, but not doing that allows the space for, when I tune in and my intuition is like, okay, it's time to go. Like,
press go, right? Yeah, and you and I have had similar experiences with that, because I know I've tried to do the traditional launch and followed all the rules and listened to the business strategist. And when the moment that I try to play by the rules, all shit hits the fan and it falls apart, because it's not, I can't play by the rules, for starters. Hello, Rebel Radio. But by playing by the rules, we're playing by somebody else's rules, not our own. And so it's about creating your own way of doing things and trusting your own intuition. I had a full launch plan mapped out for the month of April, and I was going to do it at the end of April. Well, at the end of April, I had to put my dog down. But 2 weeks prior to that, my little intuition goes, do it now. Do it now. I didn't know I was going to have to put my dog down that quickly, but I listened and I did it 2 weeks early and broke all the rules. And my business strategist gave me shit. And I said, I don't care. I'm doing it anyways without the strategy. And it worked out perfectly. So it's about giving yourself permission to let go of the reins and see where your intuition wants to take you.
And listen to it.
And listen.
That's some of the hardest things to do, is actually pause long enough. And that's been the beauty of this period, is we have all paused. And if there is something in your life that you didn't like, you would have seen it in the last little period. There was no running from it. And I know that this has been a huge time of struggle for a lot of people. And, it is a time of struggle, and it can be difficult, but it's also an opportunity to really have a look at, all right, this is my current situation. How do I want it to be? Even right now, this new moon energy that we have, it is the ending of a big cycle and the beginning of a big new long-term cycle. What do you want? Where do you want to be in 10 years' time? So no, I'm not about, setting these huge financial goals and hustle and grinding until we get that. But you need to have a vision for your life. What do you want to do? What impact do you want to have? Because as soon as you attach, I'm covered in goosebumps. As soon as you can attach your mission to that, then you can let go. Then you can stop, be quiet, listen for the nudges, listen for the little messages, and trust them. and play with it. You know, just think, okay, ask for some simple guidance. You know, give me a couple of easy nudges to follow today. And if you follow those nudges, see what comes of it, then you can continue the game and keep playing and receive that guidance, because it is there for us. It is always.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. So good. And again, when you're thinking about what you want, let's bring it back. Awareness is everything.
Yeah.
If you're aware of what you want, you can't unsee that.
Yes.
And it sends a message out into the quantum field that says, she wants this.
Yep.
Let's give it to her. Right.
Yep.
And so long as we are continually taking action in that direction, it will come our way. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's when, you know, there's a lot of energy cords are spoken about in often a negative, you know, connotation, but really the energy cords are, I believe, a part of our manifestation as well. So as soon as we're aligning with that and we're taking the action, we're creating that super highway. So every day it gets so much easier to bring that thing that we want into reality, because we've been so clear with how we've communicated it with our thoughts and our feelings. And really, like, I go to bed most nights and I think about and I feel the audience that we are reaching in the future. And all of the girls are here with me, and we are just touching so many lives. And, you know, that's how we start to call that in.
Absolutely. Oh, all the goosebumps right now. So good. So what happens when you don't practice self-mastery?
Shit hits fan.
Right?
Oh, gosh. Well,
it all falls apart.
It does. And things get hard.
Yeah.
So what I find is, you know, it doesn't happen as often now, but if there's a moment of some big struggle, it's like you're going through mud, but you don't see the options of, you know, ways that you can get out of that mud. If you feel stuck in the mud with no option, no light at the end of the tunnel, then there's a huge disconnect. And, you know, you do get to those dark times where you're just like, man, I'm struggling. You know, the universe has belted me over the head with a baseball bat with this one, but I always will know who to reach out to, or what you know, whether I need to sit and journal, sit and meditate, or reach out to one of you amazing souls. So there's always that light. There's always a tool or a person who can help me with that. So, you know, it is having that awareness of like, oh, okay, this, I'm not okay. Is this something that I can deal with myself, or do I need someone to really help me now? And often it has been one of those cases where I've needed some layers pulled back and some contracts cleared and beliefs cleared, cords cut, and then you can come past it.
Absolutely. And I love that. You have the awareness that you're stuck in the mud. So you either use the tools that you know and have available to you right in that moment, or you use the resources that you have available to you in that moment. But you get to choose. Everything is your choice. You can also choose to stay in the mud if you want to. It's not much fun in the mud, though.
It's not. We do need to acknowledge the mud.
Absolutely.
The purpose. And we don't, you know, don't be afraid of going through that muddy puddle, because so much can come out of it, and all of that mud can dry up and not be an issue anymore. And I think sometimes in this energy healing, energetic, spiritual work, it's you can be encouraged not to even go near the muddy puddle. And, you know, it is important. It is a part of our growth. And, you know, with whatever is lying under the surface that needs to come up and be cleared for you, so that you can get that vision that you've been creating, it has to be done. And the quicker, the thing is that the awareness, the tools and the resources help accelerate that journey for you. So, and that's what I experienced as soon as I tapped into you and some of the other people who've been on this journey. My I was just in full acceleration mode. And you could actually see that in my whole blueprint too. It was like, whoa, it's go time for you now.
Yeah.
So I just had to embrace it. And I do have a high level of trust. So I was able to just, you know, throw my hands up, surrender, and just go, okay, let's do this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you say that you have to go play in the mud sometimes. One of my favorite childhood activities was to play in the mud, and I still love it, metaphorically, for real. But yeah, you know, when you get stuck in that mud, stay in the mud for a little bit. Feel it out, swim around in it, see what's going on, and then reach out for the support. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. It can be good for the skin for a short amount of time, you know, then you can hop out, shower off, and get your shit together. It's okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So one last question for you, Libby. As all of my listeners are fully aware, I ask this question to everybody. What do you dream of for the world?
What do I dream of for the world? I wish, and I know that we can do this. I want every person to realize the extent of their inner power. Everybody has access to so much wisdom and power. We have just not been taught to harness it, or to even look at it, or to even believe that it's there. So as soon as we have the awareness that we have this inner power and you lean in, anything is possible for you.
Oh, this is why you and I are so close, because I dream of the same thing. Thank you so much, Libby, for being here for this conversation. I always love these conversations with you, and I promise we're doing these more often.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Thank you so much for having me. It's been awesome.